Hey everybody. Oh my goodness, live on YouTube. This is a first for me, I think. Maybe a while ago I went live on YouTube. I can't think. Okay, but you guys, we're doing some important stuff today. We are talking all about myth busting. And I have my little helper here because if I don't have him here, he is going to bark if the mailman comes or if anybody else comes. So he's going to sit in my lap. Do you want to say hi to everybody? Can we say hi? Okay, he's going to sit in my lap while I do this because we don't want him interrupting. Okay, so here's what we're going to talk about today. Myth busting. And I usually have to bite my tongue and lock my mouth when I hear people talking about all these things that they're doing to improve their singing. Because the truth is that most of it does not stand a chance in hell, pardon me, at helping you get where you want to go. And so we got to cover these big myths that are preventing you from really thriving with a reliable sound and building a sustainable career from it. So why is this important for you? Because most of you are in so much suffering around, how do I want to say this? You have so much shame and you have so much self-doubt around feeling like a failure because you have this amazing talent and you're just not successful at living it at the level that you want. And so we're just going to cut through all the garbage around this today and, do it because, look, let's be real. There are a million celebrity voice teachers, online courses, YouTube on here, technique videos. How many of you go down the rabbit hole on all this YouTube stuff with all these YouTube tips and tools? And, there's a million workshops that you can do to improve your singing. And I can tell you guys out there that 99% of it is junk. It is just complete junk. They're just rehashing old ideas that don't even begin to chisel away at the real problem. And so that's why we got to just clear out all of the smoke and chisel away at what is really blocking that most powerful, impactful sound and your ability to deliver it consistently. And it's all about being able to see through all that stuff so that you can create the exact circumstances that you need for your instrument to bloom and thrive, and then you get to live the kind of life that you have been wanting from your talent, the kind of life that you really deserve. So let's get on it, okay? Buckle up, here we go. The first myth: I just need more technique. I just need more technique and I just need better technique. Now, don't get me wrong. Technique is super, super important, okay? It's really important. But here's what I can say. I can give a singer the best technique in the world. And trust me, I work my singers hardcore in technique. But I can give you guys the best technique in the world, and it is not going to matter as long as they are still in their head and their mind is sabotaging their body from using it. All that time and that energy and that money spent on technique is just going to go down the toilet for one really important reason. And here it is. Technique is not optimized in a vacuum, guys. I'm going to say this again. Technique is not optimized in a vacuum, okay? So if the level of career you want is not reflected in the outcomes that you are getting in your auditions, performances, recordings, then just going out there to get more better technique, it's just a Band-Aid on a mosquito bite, okay? It makes you feel better because you're doing something, but what you're doing does not actually solve the real problem. So, what is the real problem? Well, we're going to get to that in a minute, but there's a couple other myths that I want to address. The real problem being, if your mind is sabotaging your body, the technique isn't going to care. So we got to look at what's going on up here, which brings us to myth number 2. Myth number 2, it's all about having the right marketing. Well, okay. It's not that effective marketing isn't really important eventually, but an in-depth marketing campaign is only going to work if what is being marketed actually makes an impact. And so I have seen too many singers put the blame on their lack of a singing career on the fact that, their marketing, they just don't have the right marketing. When the real problem is that I'm going to call it tight, guys. The real problem is that what is being marketed just doesn't cut it, okay? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That is the unfortunate truth. And until and unless that singer knows how to intimately connect with their audience, until they know what going there in their performances really means, until they can be 110% themselves and lay it all on the line when they perform, until they can really make that huge impact on the listener, then any marketing efforts are just going to be a waste of money and a waste of time. It's just lipstick on a pig, you guys. And I hate to say that, but it's like you can spin and market any way you want, but at the end of the day, it's still a pig, okay? So the myth is in believing that all you need is just the right marketing team. But I want you guys to know that with social media and like the fast-paced viral nature of our culture right now, when a performer really knows how to let go and be vulnerable and deliver an incredible performance that makes an impact, the right audience finds you. So that is a myth. I just need the right marketing, okay? The third myth, let's talk about this one. Traditional training is enough. And I have seen this over and over again. I have been a product of traditional training. I know what that is, and I can tell you that traditional training is not enough to reverse this vicious cycle that you are in with your voice and your singing and your career. And so what is the vicious cycle? What vicious cycle? It's the one that has been keeping you stuck because you can't deliver the way you know you need to when it counts. And not only that, you don't deliver the way you know you can when it counts. And so opportunities are passing you by. Come on, buddy. Do you believe this? If you're just tuning in, my dog is sitting on my lap. So these opportunities that you want, they're passing you by. And what that does is it actually sabotages the next opportunity, because now you're in even more nerves and anxiety and fear of failure since the last time didn't go so well and you didn't get the results that you wanted. And so you're just watching this singing career that you have been longing for fade farther and farther and farther into that rearview mirror. And it's that is the vicious cycle. Because when you watch it go further away, you feel even less secure, and then you put yourself even less out there because you're even more in anxiety, fear, less than thinking, and then you go out for less opportunities, and it just you circle the drain around and around. That's the vicious cycle. And you guys, traditional training does nothing to break it and nothing to fix it. It's just like how, like giving up eating candy but still not brushing your teeth, like that's not going to improve your dental health at all, okay? So the impact of this vicious cycle, it goes through several levels before really just putting the nail in the coffin of your singing career. And so first, I want you guys to understand the first part of this vicious cycle. It causes stress. You wake up in the morning and that soup of anxiety, of feeling less than, because you are at some side job that doesn't appreciate you, doesn't inspire you, and sucks your time and your energy away from your singing. And most important, it starts to make you wonder, like, if this is all that life is going to be. And then you're in that regret, and you're settling for plan B while you're watching somebody else live the life that you want, but not you. And so it puts you in this stress because you're not living the life that you want. And it is stressful putting all your time and your energy and your money and your inspiration into your singing over and over again, only to feel like you're still stuck on the outside looking in at the success that you want, at the opportunities that you want. That is stressful. And so this stress, it affects your attitudes, your beliefs, and then your actions. And so when you're stressed, you tend to see the glass is half empty. You blame your parents because they didn't believe in you. They didn't help you, when you were younger. You start to blame the industry. Oh, the industry is corrupt, all that stuff. You blame the city you live in. Oh, I don't live in New York or Nashville or LA or whatever. So, you start to blame all these things, and you start to see the world is half empty. And then those attitudes and those beliefs and the actions that come from them start to affect the areas of your brain that control your emotions. And so you begin to live in an emotional home that does not feel good, that is really unpleasant. And so then you feel powerless and you start to get pissed off, or maybe your mental health starts to suffer. Maybe you even start to feel depressed, which, not to get all like therapist-y on you, but like your emotions have a distinct footprint physiologically that affect the rest of your body. This is a lot of the reason why they've done studies that pessimists actually have more heart attacks, more cancers, more obesity than optimists. So for a singer whose body is their instrument, this emotional footprint has a direct effect on your sound, on your ability to impact an audience in your performances, and then your ability to take your career all the way. So for the most part, most of the time these emotions are transient, until they happen so often and they become a part of your emotional home daily that they become part of your identity. Your identity as a frustrated artist, your identity as angry, feeling like a failure, not having what you want, and resigning to a life of settling for less. That is the deepest, darkest layer of this vicious cycle's damage. And so to recap this cycle, this vicious cycle of damage, we have these perceptions of what's going on, which causes stress, which then affects our attitudes and our beliefs and our actions, which then affect our emotions, which then create an identity that does not serve us. And so the farther along the chain you address, the faster you can break that cycle that has been sabotaging you from singing in a way that's going to bring you this career and acting on your own behalf in ways that will further the needle to get where you want to go. And so when you are not addressing this vicious cycle, that's when you start to believe myth number 5, which is that getting that breakthrough in my career is going to take years. You start to believe that, really. That getting the breakthrough into that career is going to take years. But that's just a myth. But see, let me rephrase that. There actually is some truth to this. There is some truth to that myth if you spend your time doing many of the things we just discussed, doing all those other myths that we just discussed above. It could take years to see results in your singing that you want and in your career, if ever doing it that way. But it should be a lot faster than that. Because here's the thing. Your body is designed to make resonant sound. It is built that way. But the vicious cycle gets in the way of your natural instrument and your natural ability and your natural talent. And so when you're able to ride the wave of your body's natural talents, that is when you can fast track your progress into the success that you have been wanting. And so, guys, it is a total game changer when you know that breaking through to that elite level in your career and in your singing can actually be a short-term event. Imagine that. Imagine that. I mean, imagine being able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, like getting excited every morning that you wake up inspired and fulfilled and loving your life because you're doing what you were put here on this planet to do. Like imagine seeing yourself shining in that singing career and enjoying all of those things that life brings, that you have been waiting for. But there's so very much that you need to know, and it all starts with the right foundation. So if you need help with that foundation, that's what I am here for. If you need help to bust through the blocks that are keeping you tied to these myths that just don't serve you, that's what I'm here for. And I want to invite you to book a call with me. And so you guys, I'm new at this, at live here. I am going to, can I chat? I can see, sorry guys, I'm a little newbie for YouTube live. All right, well, what I'm going to do is as soon as we're done, I'm going to put a link so that you can book a call with me in the chat. Now, here's the thing. This is only for serious singers. And what I mean by that is you're not dabbling. You're not thinking, it would be cool to be a singer and it would be cool to... No, okay? This call is for those of you who have related to everything I said because you are out there every single day trying to make this thing work, and you are just not seeing the impact of it in the form of auditions that you are landing, gigs you are getting, records that are making an impact, shows that you are doing that build on one another, if you feel like you have been doing all that and you are just stagnating, and you're not living the life you want, and you're starting to second guess your talent, and you're starting to wonder, like, am I really good enough? And you start, all of these things start to, work you and start to make you think like, maybe I should just throw in the towel, or maybe you even quit for a time, but you know that what you're doing right now is not what you were meant to be doing. That's who this call is for. If you're a newbie, if you've never put time and energy into your singing, then you need to start with just like, get in there with an expert teacher, and we are all online these days, so it's not an excuse anymore to just say, oh, I don't live where there's a good teacher, right? Get with a good teacher and start putting in the footwork. But if you've been doing that and you're not seeing the results that you want, then it's a matter of mind and body being sabotaged by each other, and we got to get these things in line so that you're no longer living in these myths, and you have the help that you need to go supersonic. Because guys, it doesn't take long. Once these connections are made, that's why all the singers who I've worked with are having such incredible moments in their careers. I mean, you guys, last year was a pandemic, right? Well, I mean, we're still kind of in a pandemic, but, in the worst of it, I had singers who were making records and getting noticed, who were having songs of theirs in major international licensing campaigns for commercials for big brands and bringing in major income from it. Singers who were winning competitions and getting development deals with labels because they know how to get out of their own way. So if that's you and you're curious and you want to understand what the strategy is that we use to help you get out of your own way, then I'm going to put the link to book a call under in the comments as soon as we get off. Book a call. We're going to get on the phone for 45 minutes, maybe an hour, and we're going to get really clear on 3 things. On where you are right now in your singing, in your career, what is the real state of everything? What are the gaps between where you are and where you want to go? And what are the opportunities? And we're going to start to set up a strategy for what needs to happen. And I will share with you what I do. And if it's a fit, awesome. If it's not, that's okay. I'll direct you to something that is a fit, because that's just who I am, because my goal here, you guys, is to support you towards your dreams and to let you know that you do not have to be stuck and suffer anymore. There is help. There is a different way to do it. And that's what we're all about here. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This has been a fun little experiment of me going live. It's like a bit of a weird angle here, but it's okay. Got my puppy here who's been a part of this. Let's see if I can, so you can see his face. He's so cute. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful Thursday, and I will see you next time. Bye.